You're listening to the PRO Media Network, the next level in entertainment.
You're listening to the Pelicans Postgame Report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
For all things Pelicans, you're now tuned into the Pelican Postgame Report on the PRO Media Network. What's going on, family? This Big Q chiming with you. Podcast 317 on the podcast. We chiming in with you. Welcome aboard on Pelican Postgame Report episode 317. And a lot of stuff going on in the world of the Pelicans, man. Especially if you're a follower of the team and you've seen the literal implosion of the team in terms of Anthony Davis saying, man, I'm tired. It's time to me to go play with LeBron James. And seeing the game plan happen, we didn't want to believe it all happened in slow motion. The purchase of in the LA home last year, then the switching of the agent, Rich Paul, which is LeBron's best friend. Ultimately, this thing was kind of put together right in front of our face, even though we heard AD say, I'm a Pelican, I'm going to be a Pelican, you know. And also the caveat that you never, ever in the history of the NBA had a player turn down a max contract before. Over $200 million Anthony Davis could have had with the Pelicans. Turned it down. He wants to play elsewhere. I think it's a major mistake to turn that kind of money down. But each player, its own player. Anyway, in this episode of Pelican Postgame Report, welcome aboard, everybody. Welcome aboard. We'll be covering those latest trade rumors. And, of course, the rumor mill is turning as Thursday approaches. It's the trade deadline. Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern time, of course. Trade deadline is supposed to be over with. And the Lakers threw a few offers at the Pelicans. The first wasn't appealing. The second one was. Pelicans want multiple draft picks. It was 2, now it's 4. And they want second-round picks. LA is offering up all of its young pieces, its young core to the Pelicans. We don't exactly know how that's going to pan out. Dale Davis getting a little greedy. But he feels to flip those bad contracts. I think it's a good idea, if you're going to trade Anthony Davis. And now, as of the last couple of days, they want to throw Solomon Hill's worthless contract in there, and I think that's a good idea. I think this idea is better than him sending first-round draft picks out to unload bad contracts that he signed. But then again, I'm not a Dell Demps fan. I think Dell Demps should be fired because, of course, this is the second superstar that we've had with Dell Demps, which is now saying that I want to play elsewhere. And I think that's a bad sign. I don't think you need to rebuild with this general manager. He's had several opportunities to prove that he can bring a winning organization, and nothing has happened consistently. He has proven to be the Pelicans are pretty much a laughingstock franchise as far as the basketball team is concerned. And they have football guys on the NFL side running the team, and the highest man in the organization as far as basketball IQ is concerned is Dell Demps, which I think it is a shame. If we really want to be taken seriously, they flirted around 2 years ago with signing Joe Dumars as a vice president of basketball operations. They created a term, a moniker, then ultimately didn't want to give it to Joe Dumars behind money, and they ultimately end up giving Dale Demps 2 hats. He doesn't deserve those. Like I said, I'm not having anything against Dale Demps, and I do like how he handled this year and last year in terms of getting talent, but I think he made a mistake picking this coach. They had a lot more better coaches out there for this team to be picked on. Mark Jackson was one guy. Jason Kidd's another guy. Thibodeau was a guy that they interviewed. Van Gundy was a guy. All these guys are more credible coaches, head coaches, than L. Gentry was. But c'est la vie. That's why we're here right now, and Anthony Davis wants out of town. Pelicans did hold him out. When he was supposed to play in the Monday game against the Pacers, they held him out, obviously. might be a small indication into the window saying perhaps the Pelicans are looking to try to move AD at the trade deadline, although there is no need to trade AD this soon. Of course, they could wait toward the summer and get a lot more good, get a lot better deals circulating from different teams, including Boston, who could throw better draft picks. And who would you take in that deal? Would you take Ingram or Jason Tatum in a deal with Marcus Smart? I like what Boston would offer I think the Boston Celtics go all out. They'll give them the 3 or 4 first round draft picks. We'll get Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart, even Al Horford in the deal to make it work. I think you get a better package from the Boston Celtics than you would get from the Lakers. Although I do like the second package the Lakers are offering. Interesting. We're just keeping tune on it. But in the show, we'll talk about that as well as the state of the Pelicans. Also, AD's not the only guy on the trade block. With Anthony Davis saying, I want out, Nico Mirotic, Julius Randle, Etuan Moore, pretty much most of the Pelican staff are on the trade block right now. And Nico is the only other guy not named Anthony Davis that's drawing some interest. Pelicans want a first-round draft pick for Nico. I don't know why, because they squander first-round draft picks all the time. Or they just trade them out when they have bad contracts. So I don't know, man. I just think the Pelicans need to find another general manager and somebody with respectability, like the Clippers went and signed Jerry West. Remember the Memphis Grizzlies did the same thing. They were a laughingstock team before Jerry West went there and ultimately turned them around to respectability. Same thing with the Clippers, a laughingstock. Jerry West comes along and helped them become more of a value franchise. And I think that's the route they should take in terms of building a team ahead. Pelicans are a small market team, but that never stopped Utah from winning every year and making the playoffs every year. That never stopped Denver from winning every year and getting into the playoffs most years. Didn't stop OKC, who built their entire roster and championship style teams before KD went to Golden State and they traded James Harden away. But this team drafted great talent: Sergio Ibaka, Steven Adams, James Harden, Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook. Should I go on? So there are different moods and ways that the teams can grow forward. I just don't like this aspect and the mindset of the fact that Dale Demps is the guy that's leading us ahead into this move. I really do think that the Pelicans, if they love this man so much so, the Marvin Lewis of the basketball were obviously. So if they really love this man, let's bring another respectable mind above him. Joe Dumars, to me, has the resume as a respectability as a player, won championships as a player, a key piece in that Detroit Pistons team. Ultimately went to the executive level, won championship as an executive, won executive of the year awards, also had his team in the perennial playoff chase, and for a few years they were making championship runs in Detroit. So Joe Dumars is a guy that brings respectability and brings a real football mind where Mickey Loomis and Bensel and the rest of those guys are not. So we need to wipe that away. But also we'll talk about that. We'll also cover the Pelicans, 2 recaps, which are the Spurs loss 113 to 108, the Pacers 109 to 107 loss as well. And then, of course, we'll preview the Chicago Bulls in the second segment. So as it stands right now, we obviously are a team that's looking to kind of improve ourselves to get to a position where, this year alone, I don't know how far the Pelicans think they're going to go this year. Perhaps depending on the haul that they make, I don't know if J.L. Demps will make a move in terms. I wouldn't do it. I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't think it'll be a good move to make right now. But anyway, let's move it ahead, peoples, and finish talking about this here thing. The Pelicans, man, facing a lot of uncertainty. Anthony Davis is ready to return. Of course, they stopped him. Now, a lot of people are speculating currently that because of the move that they held him out, is that they're possibly thinking about trading him at the trade deadline. There is no need for them to trade him this early. Especially, I have a rule of thumb, I would not trade him to the Lakers. Look what San Antonio did when Kawhi Leonard became disgruntled. They shipped his butt all the way to the Eastern Conference to Toronto, a team they play once or twice a year. You do not want to trade Anthony Davis inside of the same conference that you're in. Send him to Boston. Send him to the Eastern Conference. Do not send him to the Lakers. And I'm not a Laker hater. I grew up watching the Lakers. But I think that this will be, you know, you don't want to trade him there. Now, besides, like I said, Boston have a better set of draft picks, better personnel in terms that can really help. I think Jason Tatum is a budding head start, but they still held him out. So, you know, what you guys think about that? What you think about the fact that Anthony Davis was held out of that first game there? Of course, like I said, I wouldn't trade him right away. I'll wait till the summer unless the Lakers blew the doors off and they gave the Pelicans 4 first-round draft picks, which they're capable of doing, second-round draft picks. We'll see if he gets that desperate. But the Boston Celtics, Magic Johnson knows that the Boston Celtics have better pieces that'll fit with the Pelicans to try to do. And I'm not too crazy about Lonzo Ball. Although he's a good player, I don't think Lonzo Ball is a guy that you want down here with his loudmouth Paul running around talking that he don't want his son to go to the Pelicans and all this madness. So, like I said, man, I just think Boston have a better set of packages, players and picks that'll help the Pelicans stay competitive, and maybe they can build the team ahead if done correctly. So we'll keep an eye on that news as well. Niko Mirotic, the next round of moves, are getting interest from teams like Philly, Houston, Utah, and Denver. A few teams looking out, including Portland too. So several teams engaged in talks with the Pelicans about acquiring Niko Mirotic. Now, if any of these players that I would consider keeping, that's not named Anthony Davis, who obviously wants to leave. You know, obviously Drew Holiday is off limits. But Niko Mirotic, to me, I really do like Niko Mirotic. I like what he brings to the team. His hustle and his three-point shooting ability is a stretch forward. He makes over $12 million a year. But he is a guy that I would actually consider keeping. The Pelicans want a first-round draft pick for Niko Mirotic. Somebody's going to give up a pick. Of course, there's rumors saying that the Pelicans would take Will Barton for Denver for Niko Mirotic. That's actually a pretty good move as well. It's a pretty good trade to get a guy like Will Barton. But the Pelicans, with so many needs here, it's going to be interesting to see what this team does. So we'll keep an eye on it. Also, Julius Randle is receiving some interest. Etwine Moore, not so much. But as the trade deadline gets closer and closer, we'll start seeing teams reach and grab for players. And the Pelicans, virtually the entire roster is up for grabs. Everybody not named Drew Holiday. So it'll be interesting to see just how the Pelicans work this thing out. And of course, a few other things to talk about in terms of the Pelicans is the Pelicans faced off against against two teams. They faced off against the San Antonio Spurs in the AT&T Center in San Antonio, Texas. Then they faced off against the Indiana Pacers the last couple of games. We'll review the Spurs matchup first. Now, if you watch this game, the Pelicans, the last few games, the Pelicans have been absolutely terrific in terms of playing hard, and Kenrich Williams has been a great find. And finally, I got to give credit. I don't know if I should give Elvin Gentry any credit, because we've been saying for half the season and all last year, he's not a good person to have as a coach if you're looking to try to develop young talent. He's just not the guy for that. I mean, he give his young players sporadic minutes, and the only reason why they're playing a lot of these young personnel is because so many of the veteran guys are hurt. If some of those guys were playing, you would not see the good play ability of Kenrich Williams or Frank Jackson, what he was bringing, Sheik Diallo's hustle ability, and some of these other guys, what they're bringing to the table. El Gentry is the wrong kind of guy for young talent. He's the same guy that just keeps giving you 8 players rosters, 5 starters and 8 reserves off the bench. So I don't know, man. I just think it's now or never, man, for the Pelicans to make some moves. And what you gonna do? What are you gonna do, Pelicans? We're gonna keep El Gentry, we're gonna keep Dale Dempson, we're gonna try to run this thing back with the same personnel, the same people that basically Anthony Davis don't want to play for right now, he don't have any confidence in the team to even make the playoffs. It says a lot, man. I'm not saying that the starter team demanding to be traded and willing to pass up $40 something million just to get the hell away from the Pelicans, Dale Dempson, Elvin Gentry. That says a lot. But anyway, we're going to finish recapping the rest of these games, the Pacers matchup, the Spurs matchup, and we have more news, interviews on the other side of the break. You're listening to the Pelican Postgame Reports.
Straight sports talk from the sports coma with Big Q and the guys.
Embrace Pet Insurance is more than just pet insurance. Embrace Pet Insurance promises to provide genuine support and certainty when your pet needs it the most. With personalized accident and illness policies, compassionate customer care, 24/7 access to veterinary professionals, flexible wellness plans, timely claims processing, and online customer portals, their values is what makes them Embrace. So, when selecting a pet insurance company as a partner in your pet's care, you deserve a company that has your pet's best interests at heart. Get top rated and reviewed coverage for your pet today. Up to 90% back on bills at any vet, total protection, pet insurance and wellness, and dependable claims payments. Get the top rated and reviewed coverage for your pet today. Go to embracepetinsurance.com. That's embracepetinsurance.com. Check the link in the description section below.
Get all the latest news and updates from your New Orleans Pelicans at the Pelicans Eye View, the new and official Pelicans Daily Journal, covering everything Pelican. Attention, everyone. Get breakdown on games, free agent signings, and potential moves. Unbiased opinions and straight up facts with statistical analysis from G Balance. Go to www.thesportsdaily.com/Pelicans-I-View.
Are you a boxing fan? Check out Ring Kings Boxing only on the PRO Media Network.
Do you need a domain name? How about a host for your website that can work with WordPress? Try Namecheap.com. They make registering, hosting, and managing domain names for yourself or others easy and affordable because the internet needs people. Namecheap is an ICANN accredited domain register and technology company founded in 2000. It's one of the fastest growing American companies according to the 2018 Inc. 5000, celebrating nearly 2 decades of providing unparalleled levels of service, security, and support. Namecheap has been steadfast in customer satisfaction with over 10 million domains under management. Namecheap is among the top domain registers and web providers in the world. They offer a full selection of popular and unique domains along with fully featured hosting packages, SSL security certificates, WhoisGuard privacy protections, and more, all at the lowest prices in the industry. So if you need a domain name or hosting or anything else, think Namecheap.com. That's right, Namecheap.com. Check the description section below for link.
Sports fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear. From all the leagues, teams, and players you love, unique one-of-a-kind designs exclusively by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars shipped directly to your home. Join Fanatics Rewards for free to earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and for a limited time, get 20% off all orders. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
There's a lot of reasons to be a fan, but only NBAStore.com has all the gear.
Are you a Pelicans fan? Check out the Pelican postgame report on the PRO Media Network.
You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
For all things Pelicans, tune into the Pelican postgame report. I'm Big Q. Going into some more Pelican news, man. 113-108 Pelicans lost. Big matchup, man. Major capacity. Fought hard in this matchup, man. I gotta give them credit, man. Pelicans. And they really fighting hard, man. Just don't have enough firepower, man. Perhaps if the Pelicans would have played Anthony Davis against the Pacers, they would have definitely won that one, don't you think? But the fact that the Pelicans want to bench him right now is an indication that possibly Thursday could be a time when they just say, you know what, let's not carry this on into the summer. Let's just get what we can get now, get them out, get the picks, get the players, dump the bad contracts, and then renew ourselves and then make a playoff push. Could be the mindset in the building to hurry up and get this thing over with and not drag it on into the summer, even though I think that the Boston Celtics offer him a better, will offer the the Pelicans a better package than the Lakers would. And I just don't like the fact that you would trade him inside of the conference to meet him and send him and pair him with LeBron James. Are you kidding me? would you really want to pair Anthony Davis, the best players 1 and 2 in the league, together in the Lakers? I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it, man. Anyway, going ahead, looking at some of this information dealing with the San Antonio Spurs matchup, big matchup. Pelicans played really well. Frank Jackson led the way for the Pelicans with 25. LaMarcus Aldridge had 25 on his side of the deal. And this was an exciting game for the Pelicans in many respects, because if you look at the game, the Pelicans had 6 players that finished in double digits for them coming off the bench. Kenrich Williams, 12. Sheik Diallo had 13. Ian Clark, 15. The only lead of the game came in opening moments after a tip-off from Pelicans. Drew Holiday hit a jumper to make it 2-0. After that, it was something else. San Antonio had a 23-6 run to take a 15-point lead into the first quarter, and then they led by double digits for the second quarter and all of the third. Then New Orleans came roaring back with just 11 of 26 from the field in open period. They were 0 of 8 from deep, but then trailing by 106-84 with about 5 almost 6 minutes left in playtime. New Orleans mounted a big comeback attempt. Let's just say that, comeback attempt, with the lineup of Kenrich Williams, Frazier, Ian Clark, Sheik Diallo, and Frank Jackson. The Pelicans went on a 24-5 run, cutting the Spurs lead from 111 to 108, 38 seconds remaining. Then Frazier had I don't know what kind of field goal attempt that was. Off-balance 3-point attempt. He didn't even have to take that type of shot, but he did, and that's when you need a closer, a guy that can step in at the right time, hit the shots, make the right plays to finish the game. Pelicans sorely lacking in that. Tim Frazier's way just not that guy. Took an off-balance 3-pointer that went out, and ultimately DeMar DeRozan iced the game at the free throw line. Ian Clark scored 11 of his 15 points in the final time frame, and New Orleans ended the game 10 of 35, about 27, maybe 29% from deep. Then they committed just 9 turnovers on the night, which was actually pretty good for the Pelicans, losing 113 to 108. Now, like I said, Frank Jackson led the effort with 25 points in the matchup, 25 for LaMarcus Aldridge in the effort. But you got to give this young team, they are very scrappy. They're just extremely thin in terms of their roster. But this team plays with heart. Let's listen to what Coach Gentry had to say about his Pelican club. Here's Gentry.
No, I'm really happy, with it. I think what we have to try to avoid is, having the lapses where we give up big leads, because, then I told them what happens is that we have to have that perfect storm, and we almost had it, but, the chances of getting it and being able to complete the task, that's what becomes really, really tough. And I love the effort that we played with. I love the fact that we didn't give up. I love the fact that we just competed to the end, but we got to try to avoid, what we talked about earlier in the year of having these big leagues and then having these big leagues that we have to overcome, and playing so hard to get back, close to even, that it's so hard to get over the hump. But the effort that we played with, I mean, any coach would be satisfied with that, and the unselfishness that we played with, and just the competitive spirit that we have. It'd been easy to just say, oh, we're down 20, let's just finish out the game and go. But, that group can continue to compete, and, that's what's good about it.
Coach, the lack of three-point shooting for your team, I know it's personnel-driven in a lot of ways, but does it make it almost doubly hard in those situations?
Well, that makes it tough because, obviously, each one is out who's a good three-pointer of ours, and then the way teams are playing us now, it's tough for us to get them a lot of threes out. But like I said, I just like the effort that we're playing with, and I would never question, the effort and the unselfishness that we're playing with right now. I just want these guys to be able to have something tangible that they can get out of that, and to play a team close or whatever. Really, it's nothing rewarding about it. We have to try to win games. But like I said, I will never question the effort that we play with.
The big lead that.
It's Coach Elvin Gentry saying he'll never question the effort this team is playing with. And I got to congratulate this team. And they're really fighting hard, man. They're playing with a lot of heart. And it's something that I wish would have carried over before Anthony Davis went out. Most of these players is playing right now. If they would have played minutes during the early portion of the season, helping out scoring off of the bench, and you would have had given a consistent 4 or 5 players off the bench to supplement your starters, we wouldn't be here right now. Burning out Anthony Davis, playing him at the center and then turning him into a small ball center the entire season was just, in my opinion, incredibly foolish. We know Anthony Davis doesn't like to play center. He'll play it in moments in the game, but to turn him into a small ball center the entire freaking season is just dumb, in my opinion. When you have a true center in Jahlil Okafor who wasn't getting any minutes, he was just sitting on the bench for a quarter of the season until ultimately he was forced to play due to injury. I just would imagine in my mind what this team would have looked like if Jahlil Okafor was actually starting in the center position, AD was at the 4 position, and you had guys like Julius Randle coming off the bench, and perhaps they would have gotten another big. We had one during the start of the season and preseason who was actually a big that can run, or a guy like a Dwight Powell or somebody that can play the 4 or 5 that can help out. I think things would be different if you had a coach that actually believed in his team and just didn't force to use them because of injuries. We've been saying these are the type of guys this is, but you can't make a guy see his team. He has to understand that. And Coach Gentry, I just think he's not the correct coach for this team. But anyway, that was him describing the heart and hustle of the team. Too bad he discovered that a little too late, in my opinion. But let's move on to the next thing. The Pacer matchup was a nice matchup as well because the Pelicans did the same thing these last several games. Pelicans been playing like with a lot of heart. They opened the game with an 11-0 run, but Indiana answered by closing at the time frame, scoring 25-9 through the final 9 minutes of play. After the hot start, the Pelicans finished the first quarter shooting about 7 of 21 for 33% from the field, 2 of 8 from downtown. With the game tied at 53 in the early stages of the second half, Indiana went on a 26-15 run to take a 79-68 lead, which was the largest of the game, with about 2:33 remaining in the third. Then trailing about 90-79 with about 10 minutes remaining, New Orleans went on a 23-13 run to cut the deficit to 103-102 with 2:31 remaining. Collison answered with about a 3-pointer at the other end to push it back to a 2-possession game with less than 2 minutes. Jahlil Okafor hit a layup to make it about a 2-point game with about 1:15 remaining, but Collison answered again, this time with a 20-foot jump shot with 49 seconds to take a 2-possession game again, and Darius Miller missed a free throw attempt. The Pacers were able to seal the game at the free throw line, leaving the Pelicans with not enough time for another comeback attempt. Collison scored half of his 22 points in that time frame. Drew Holiday fell 1 assist shy of a triple-double, registered 19 points, 11 rebounds to go with his game high 9 assists. Now, let's see what Coach Gentry's thoughts on this Pacer loss. Here he is.
Some mistakes that cost us, and we don't have the luxury of having that margin of error, so we have to do everything almost perfect, and we just, we weren't able to do it. Lost our men a couple of times on the defensive side of the ball, trying to help, trying to dig, they relocated, and we lost them a couple of times. There was a couple of rebounds that we had to have that we didn't get. So, for us, not only do we have to play hard and kind of try to grind it out, but we just have, those kind of plays we have to make in order to come away with a win. Everything is great and playing hard and everything, but the end of the day is that we got to try to find a way to win games. And we're playing hard and we're playing well for some stretches, but we got to be able to do it over the course of 48 minutes where that eventually turns into wins and not, hard playing games.
Coach Gentry saying a mouthful, man. Team, wow. Pelicans fighting hard, just not getting these wins. They finish out that with a loss to the Pacers. If Anthony Davis had played, they probably would have won the game. But they're thinking they might move him here at the trade deadline. Hope not. 12-41 the Chicago Bulls, 5-20 at home. They're coming up next. The Pelicans traveling there. 23-31, 8-21 on the road. Can the Pelicans get it done? The only time will tell. I think they should be able to beat the Chicago Bulls, but we'll see. We're talking.
Are you
Thank
a
you for joining
Pelicans
us.
fan?
Peace.
Check out the Pelican Postgame Report on the PRO Media Network.
The Kleins family has been getting people to go nuts for old nuts since 1995. As legends have it, a number of the Kleins friends who heard the idea said you can go nuts trying to name a store like that. In the excitement, the Kleins thought their friends said old nuts instead of go nuts and proceeded to throw caution to the wind. Old Nuts has over 2,000 items, bulk and wholesale prices of a whole lot of your favorite fruits, nuts, and confections, a selection of gift baskets for any budget, any occasion, and provides one of the best and impressively rated shopping experiences on the web. Fact is, between their selection, service, speed, or their online presence in the virtual mirror retail experience, they have developed an enviable client base that's comprised of personal and professional customers who count on their remarkable range of gift baskets. Think of gift basket, think about Old Nuts. Check them out, oldnuts.com. Check the link in the description section below. Tea is your escape. It's your opportunity to create a moment for stillness, for reflection, for yourself. It's your connection to a world of senses, flavors both exotic and familiar, energizing and relaxing. It's your retreat from an increasingly turbulent world. It's the perfect paradox of simplicity and complexity. Teabox.com connects tea to people, uniting the richest flavors of the finest teas with the curious, the cultivated, and the adventurous all over the world. The freshest tea you've ever tasted, from crop to cup. There's simply no simpler way to experience the wonderful complexity of tea. Teabox, packing up the freshness. Tea thrives on freshness, and so do they. Teabox temperature and humidity control facility ensure that tea is maintained. The teas themselves go into oblique bags with aluminum layers that protect them from excess moisture and light. With Teabox, shopping for fresh, loose leaf tea is easy because you make an informed purchase. You know exactly where your tea is coming from. So for the freshest teas in the world, check out Teabox.com. That's right, Teabox.com. Check the link in the description section below.
Are you a boxing fan? Check out Ring Kings Boxing only on the PRO Media Network.
Go to newfrog.com for all of your electronic gadget needs. Fast becoming #1 online seller of cell phone and accessories, consumer electronics, automobiles and motorcycles, home and garden items, 5D diamond painting crafts, electrical and tool supplies, computer and networking supplies, lights and lighting supplies, sports and travel items, toys and hobby supplies, apparel and accessory, mother and kid items, health and beauty items, and much, much more. Newfrog.com has up to 70% off on some products. And you can check out their weekly promotions for all the best deals. Remember, when thinking online electronics and gadgets, think New Frog. Newfrog.com. Check the link in the description section below.
In today's world, children are bombarded with negativity on television, online, and at school. Our kids need to have a positive outlook on life and the world around them. I want to share with you a valuable resource you can use to bring positivity into your child's life. It's the new book, 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image, from author and dad, G.J. Barabino. This is a simple guide loaded with wonderful and inspirational affirmations designed to uplift young people's spirits. This positive and powerful children affirmational is chock full and loaded with wonderful inspirational sayings that will lift your child's self-image to whole new levels through the awesome power of spoken word. 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image, from author and dad G.J. Barabino. Available on Amazon. Order a copy for yourself, your child's teachers, or anyone you know with children. 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image. Order your copy today.
What's up, Sports World? The PRO Media Network is on a mission to reach 10,000 subscribers. So besides our regular programs like the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, the Pelican Postgame Report, Rapid Fire TSC, and others, we will be expanding out and offering other content like movie, anime, and gaming reviews for your entertainment. So if you enjoy our content, please donate at our Patreon page. Also subscribe, comment, and share. And help the PRO Media Network reach 10,000 subs. Peace.